welcoming you back to the desk of Caddicarus. Join us as we partake into a new installment of Current Quickies.
Hello my duckies, and this time we'll be having a look at Gone Home on PS4. Cute. This game is pretty damn good. This is the first time personally I've ever played this so-called best narrative-driven exploration game ever made. Well, that's what people said when it came out anyway, so you know what, I don't think the game lived up to that level of hype, but I do think it has a lot going for it, and most of the time it nails it. But what about the specifics? Well, I'll tell you about the specifics after I've taken a deep breath in and talked very fast.
This game, I have to say, didn't actually disappoint me, and I really fucking enjoyed it. Gone Home is yet another difficult game to talk about as far as video game critique goes, since it disobeys and challenges many traditional gaming conventions that leaves it to be unjudgeable in many areas. And another way of saying that is that it's another walking simulator, and after being fresh off the heels of Layers of Fear, I went into this with low expectations and actually came out surprised, engaged, and unbelievably moved. It looks nice enough and runs at 60 FPS flawlessly, but honestly, with such primitively decorated locations due to the plot of the game, I wasn't expecting anything less. And for as little control you actually have in this game, it works fine, but holy shit, a sprint button would have been majorly appreciated. Music is epic and romantic, and voice acting is unbelievably convincing and spot on for what the mood was trying to be. Loved it all. But to be honest, that's as much as I can really criticize it to a completely mechanical degree, so instead I'd like to talk about the things the game actually sells itself on, what I found particularly clever and what I think could have been improved, and I won't try and spoil any major plot points. Okay, well to do this I need to give you a brief summary. Gone Home is a game about you, Caitlin, coming home from your massive trip around Europe to your new home that you haven't lived in yet. But your family have for quite some time. Why did they move in the first place? I won't say. Strangely enough though, on returning home, your mum, dad and younger sister are absolutely nowhere to be seen, and without any goals, direction or clue on what to do other than a note on the door left by the sister Sam telling you she's left for unknown reasons to an unknown place, you're set free to explore and find out exactly what the hell happened here. Firstly, it's fantastic how as a walking sim, this game pushes exploration to the forefront of everything, not only for exploring around the mansion that is brand new to not only the player but Caitlin also, a fantastic touch seeing as though there are many dark secrets to uncover which are ultimately new to both the player and Caitlin, so evoke the exact same emotions the game wants you to feel firsthand, but also because every single little piece of the story here is hidden, dangled and only ever presented in mixed up bits and pieces through common household items. This walking sim is exactly what you should try and do to engage your players, make them feel justified for walking around everywhere and looking at random stuff by rewarding them with more speculation and drive to the narrative, making them want to carry on, and Gone Home does this magnificently and in a way that makes sense since many of the major plot elements revolve around secrets and going behind people's backs within the family, so obviously things will be sneakily hidden away for others not to see. Caitlin goes into the house thinking she knows everything about her family, and the player assumes the same, so the second you start realizing that in the time you are gone a lot of shit has happened and a lot of deep stuff impacted the entire household without Caitlin even realizing, the game's drive and mystery becomes more intriguing and wonderful to witness the more you explore. You learn a lot about every member of your family through minute details that are all important to their character and also in the grand scheme of the story, and the way the completely missable details extend to, for example, seeing what movies the dad likes to record on VHS and how many book covers for the same book he's writing you see, what the mum thinks about particular employees at her job and tickets to certain events hidden in air vents and pillows, seeing what books, letters and magazines are scattered in particular rooms of the parents to indicate what people are reading and why they're reading them, and how Sam is dealing with the new changes in her life through crumpled classroom notes and discarded items in bins near her room is fantastic in how it does it and presents the entire story through seemingly pointless shit, but with all of it actually turning out to be relevant and character building in some way or another. And tiny little gameplay additions like trying to figure out a code to a secret cabinet by figuring out where the dad could possibly hide the code through his interests and hobbies with no blatant telling, or finding erotic literature written by your sister causing Caitlin to put the note down almost immediately before the player can even read a part of the way down were charming, completely optional, and added even more character to not only the family but with how the game is played and how it can catch you off guard. And the story itself did really catch me off guard, not only from how fucking unsettling I felt most of the time through its sound design and initially unexplained events, wasn't expecting to be creeped out at all by this game, but also by the turns it takes towards the character of Sam herself and how it begins to become an extremely well-paced, moving and genuinely heartfelt love story all about her. And again, the way the player has to uncover all of this through the tiny little details makes you not only feel like you're witnessing the relationships in her life firsthand as you discover more about them from the very beginning, but also connect and understand more with her as a result of that. You built your understanding of her relationships through the gameplay as much as she did within the plot. It's all clever shit here, and I really loved how the story relied on no scripted narration or direction in order to make you feel like I earned it and was uncovering this all through my own interest and intrigue. This is all well and good, yes, but I also have to say this, for as immersive as the game tries to be with not having unrealistic and ridiculous puzzles and such, oftentimes it can really suck you out of it by being more unbelievable than it has any right to be. For instance, you pick up a lot of items in this game and you can drop them, but they all have the same exact physics, same sounds when making physical contact with something and never behave as they would in reality. And again, why isn't there a sprint button? You'll come to know the Grand Mansion like the back of your hand, but that really means nothing when you can't move any faster through it. And that only makes no sense at all from a plot standpoint. Caitlin just came back from a fucking huge Europe trip, so she's obviously majorly fit, but also from a gameplay and player interest standpoint. Yeah, the mansion isn't too big, but would it have harmed to have put a sprint button in there to make backtracking tracks a lot more enjoyable? And you know what, my final playtime on this game totaled to exactly 1 hour and 57 minutes, and I really don't have a problem with that, but I still feel like I was kind of jibbed off with the price tag. £15, really? For its length and little actual puzzling or challenging gameplay, no matter how good I felt the rest of the elements did, that was kind of pushing it, honestly. But yes, I can definitely still recommend Gone Home highly, and I actually found that for the length and the little amount of proper gameplay, it was hugely impressive in how concise its point was and how it kept me engaged throughout and satisfied until the end. This is a shining example of less equals more, and it's this example that any and all walking sims should be following if you ask me. It's incredible with how it accomplishes its goals compared to other stuff like Layers of Fear or Everybody's Gone to the Rapture because of its focus, player interactive and stealthily rewarding storytelling, and gallons of deep, creepy and emotional atmosphere. I'm glad I played it now and I was not disappointed.
So, I'd give this game an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't feel like I quite got my money's worth, but I still really fucking liked it. And if you saw any of this video and thought that you might like it, chances are you really will as well. Phew.